Good afternoon, everyone. Now we begin the Dhamma discussion. As usual, I have one or two questions that came from some members. One question is that in the morning, in my Dhamma discussion, I mentioned that we should plan to meet the Maitreya Buddha in the future. And question is, how do we plan? What do we do to plan? Right, that's a good question. And same as when a student in the junior high can plan what he or she is going to study in the high school, what he would do in the college, what kind of college he or she want to get into. That kind of things they can plan. And they do plan. Some of you who are here from Sri Lanka, from Bangladesh, from Nepal or Cambodia, who are here, some of you are thinking that you want to go to America and study when you grow up. And if you had that plan, we said the plan. We said Buddha had the plan to Bodhisattva. When he was a Bodhisattva, he had the plan to become the Buddha and teach Dhamma to millions of people, beings, to help them to eliminate their suffering. So he was planning. When you plan to become a Buddha, you know that there are so many coursework that you have to fulfill. Like if you want to graduate in the college, you have to fulfill all the requirements, and how many units of classes that you need, how many units of what class, how many units of this class you want to take, then you graduate at a certain time that you plan. So that is planning. So how does this student plan? The same way that Buddha, Bodhisattva planned to become the Buddha for thousands and thousands of lives ago, kalpas ago, he planned. And he knew, just like a college student try to fulfill all the requirements to graduate at such a time, Bodhisattvas also have to finish the coursework to become the Buddha. In the Buddha's case, to become the Buddha, you have to fulfill all the requirements to the highest level. Now, 10 paramitas, for example, 4 million years ago, Sara Asanka, uncountable millions of years ago, when the Bodhisattva was the Sumedha, the ascetic, Sumedha Tapasya, he determined, I will be just like the Buddha that is here, Kakusanda. I think I don't remember exactly what Buddha's time he decided to become the Buddha. And then he knew that he has to fulfill certain great deal of requirements. That is Dasaparamita. Dasaparamita can be fulfilled by so many people, but Dasaparamita cannot be fulfilled in the way that a person who is going to be the Buddha would fulfill. Paramita can be fulfilled for some extent. Just like the college student somehow fulfill all the requirements to graduate, they graduate. But among this class of students, there are 1 or 2 or 3, 5, 6 people who want to graduate with little honors, and they work little harder compared to other students who just want to graduate. And that is a secondary level of fulfilling the requirements. There's one student who worked very, very hard in the same class, try to get the gold medal for that whole class. So becoming a Buddha is like fulfilling the requirement to get a gold medal. Many other people in the world who see the Buddha, who see the enlightened ones, they also think, I want to become enlightened one day and free from all suffering. And they try to practice dana, and they try to practice sila, they try to practice samadhi, they try to cultivate panya, they try to cultivate patience, they try to cultivate metta, and they finally reach the enlightenment, arahant. And there are another group of people who are called Pacceka Buddhas. All arahant become enlightened in the end by listening to a Buddha, by learning from a Buddha. But the second group called Pacceka Buddhas, they work so hard, all these paramitas they have to fulfill to a much higher level. As a result, they can become enlightened without the help of any Buddha. So they work hard on their own and they become Pacceka Buddha, but they never become professors of the class. They never be able to teach others. They know how you became fully enlightened, Pacceka Buddha, but they don't know how to explain how I became the Buddha and Pacceka Buddha, how I got rid of all my human weaknesses, my greed, hatred, and ignorance, and all the delusion, and all my kleshas. How did I do it? And he want to say it, to teach it to other person. He cannot do it because he is a secondary practitioner, not to the fullest. That is called dana upaparamita. Dana paramita, dana upaparamita. Maitri paramita, maitri upaparamita. Prajna paramita, prajna upaparamita. Then this person want to be the Buddha. He knows I am doing this, and my plan is to become the fully enlightened one, then I have to fulfill my requirement to the maximum possible level, because becoming a Buddha is the infinite refinement in all aspects, not only getting rid of his own kleshas, her own kleshas. Klesha cleaning is easier, but with cleaning the kleshas, defilements, and becoming able to teach, becoming able to understand what should I teach to this person, what should I teach to this person, how do I explain the same thing to this person and to another person, all that, and all the psychic skills that he need. Buddha goes to a place to teach, help some people, and then people are so busy getting ready to fight a battle, and in the battlefield they are sharpening their swords, sharpening their arrows, and getting ready to start the big war against some other state. But how can a Buddha go to a group of people who are so wild and crazy about fighting and teach Dharma? We cannot. Anybody cannot, but Buddha can. Buddha shock them, give them a big shock. And because of that shock, they drop their weapons, they drop their swords, and they drop their other things. They drop preparing the horses. They drop preparing the elephants to fight. They drop everything because of the shock immediately. What is the shock that he could give? Buddha had the ability to perform a dual miracle. He immediately goes up in the battlefield, up in the air. It's like a heavenly being appeared, or some UFO is coming. Everybody dropped their weapons and started looking at the Buddha, and then all of a sudden he was emitting water from one side of his body, fire from one side of the body. They become so shocked, and then they forget all the things that they have been doing at that moment, and they're fully focusing on this person. And then the Buddha land down to the ground, and he can speak to the people. And since people are so focused on this person, they can focus on what the Buddha is teaching. But the Buddha is here to every word that Buddha says, they can hear. If 10 minutes earlier they were so wild and they have no focus on any person who speak, but now that is a Buddha skill. That skill any other teacher don't have. So because Buddha has fulfilled all the requirements to the fullest is called Paramattha Paramita. Dana Paramita, Dana Upaparamita, Dana Paramattha Paramita. So any situation Buddha can handle, because he has developed all the necessary skills. Another example is that any enlightened one, any Pacceka Buddha may be killed by somebody who is mad at this person, but can anyone kill the Buddha or harm the Buddha? Maybe a little blood, shaking his blood may be possible, but you cannot kill a Buddha because his perfections are completely evolved to the highest level. So now his plan was to become enlightened, the fully enlightened one, and teach the Dharma for all beings. All beings included Devas, all beings included Brahmas. When the Brahmas come and talk to the Buddha in front of him, he can understand. Can I understand? No, I don't know what he's saying. Brahma is talking maybe different language. There's no way that I can understand what the Devas are talking about. But Buddha sit down with them and they have a nice conversation and they bow to the Buddha and leave after the conversation because he had the skill of communicating with any of those people. Why? Because he fulfilled all the requirements to the fullest. Paramattha Dana. Dana Paramattha Paramita, Prajna Paramattha Paramita, Upekka Paramattha Paramita, and Samadhi Paramattha Paramita, or Paramattha means to the fullest level. He planned it long time ago. I'm going to be the Buddha, and if I plan it now, I have know what should I require, what should I fulfill in such and such a time, and then he have been gradually fulfilling all this to the highest level. At the time that he become enlightened, then like the Maitreya Bodhisattva now has done that, all that, except coming down to the human realm and becoming fully enlightened right here in the human realm, because he could become enlightened in the divine realm in the Tusita heaven right now, but he would not do it because he had to come and show the people human being can become enlightened. That's why even our Buddha was in Tusita heaven before, and he came down to the earth and got married and had a child and learned all the archery and other sciences in the time and the languages and all that, just like any other person. And then he went to forest and went through suffering, practicing dushkarakriya, meaning self-mortification, and he became enlightened here in the human world, although he could become fully enlightened somewhere else. But he realized the Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path and all the other teachings to the fullest in this life. But he had all the necessary background already to become enlightened under the Bodhi tree at Buddha Gaya. So that was complete planning. All that is planning. So how do someone plan to meet Maitreya Buddha in the future? In case, if we miss becoming enlightened in this life, I'm not saying that you should plan to become, you should plan to be able to meet Maitreya Bodhisattva. I would suggest that you should all try to become enlightened right here in this life, because we don't know what happened next life. Next life, if you are born in a very difficult, hellish niraya place, you may stuck there for a long time, and Maitreya Bodhisattva meantime come to the world, and he will also leave the world into samsara, nirvana, and I could miss it. So therefore, it's very dangerous to pass this opportunity that we have. But at least we can plan not to be born in a place like hell. Meanwhile, because if you are born there, you could miss. If you are born in a Brahma world, like Asita, you remember Asita when King Suddhodana invited Asita, the ascetic, to come to see the Buddha, who was a very powerful sage. A little baby Siddhartha was shown, and Asita looked at him, and he knew that he's going to be the Buddha in the future, near future. But unfortunately, he knew that he will die by that time. He was a very old man. He would die and reborn in a Brahma world. And if I be born in the Brahma world, Arupaloka. Arupaloka means no body, like Devas have body. They have eyes, they have ears, they have tongue, they have all that, the complete body. Some Brahmas those also have. Rupaloka, Brahma world, they have body, physical body. But there are some Brahma lokas, only the conscious process exists. It is digitally. Digitally, it is roaming around, but no body, meaning Arupaloka, no form. So how can he come to India, maybe Jeta's Grove, Jetavana, and visit the Buddha? He cannot. And he knew that. That is why he cried. Remember, Asita Tapas was very happy and laughing at the beginning, or smiling at the beginning, and started crying after seeing the little baby Bodhisattva. Because he knew, I will be born in Arupaloka as a Brahma, so I miss meeting the Buddha. That great sage, who was a very powerful meditating sage, has all the psychic skills and other things, but he has a lot of greed and hatred and ignorance, not completely eliminated from his mind. He was a sage, but these are not totally gone. That is why they are still in the samsara. So he was born in the Brahma world. He may be still there. Now Buddha gave all his sermon, 45 years, finishing the Dharma teaching, and he entered the Nirvana. And luckily we are here, we can hear the teachings not directly from the Buddha, but from his disciples who learned the Dharma from the Buddha himself, and then transmitted to next generation, and we happen to be here. But the Asita, the sage, still stuck in the Brahma world. No consciousness, like no eye, no ear, no sound, nothing. He doesn't hear anything because it's like completely calm and peaceful, conscious process. So he couldn't plan. He already had done all the requirements to go to reborn in the Brahma world, Arupa Brahma world, formless Brahma world, and he missed it. And we could miss him too, because if we, without knowing that Maitreya Bodhisattva is coming, and if we meditate very well and become Arupa Brahma, then we could miss Maitreya Bodhisattva. Or we could reborn in some animal realm again and again and again. And once you become an animal, it is so easy for you to become an animal again and again. Because you develop the habit of an animal. When you develop the habit of an animal, you become an animal again and again. Right? That is the way it is going to be. And if we continuously become an animal for many kalpas, it's possible. You miss Maitreya Bodhisattva. Therefore, we have to plan it carefully. What is the planning? How do we do the planning? Planning is just like that high school student who is thinking that I want to go to America to study, find a good university in California or maybe Boston, maybe New York, some good university, maybe Stanford, whatever that school they want to, they plan. So I need to polish my English first. I need to take mathematics. I need to take this subject and this subject. And I have to have GRE. I have to have this. And then I apply. There's a much higher chance that I get in. So that is the planning. So same thing about becoming a person who meet the Maitreya Buddha. I want to plan that I want to be a human being next life. I want to be a human being with good sila and good samadhi and good prajna. So how do you put that into your mind? Just like that student did. You put it into your mind and you follow through. So that way, when you are dying, you remind yourself that I don't want to be this, I want to be this instead. I don't want to be a hell being, but I want to be a good human being. What are the requirements to be a human being? Just like that college student is preparing for requirements, we have to fulfill our requirements to be a human being. Even if you go to heaven, you put into your mind that I will be heavenly being in the future, but by the time Maitreya Bodhisattva is coming to human world, I want to be a human being at that time. What did you do? You have to implant it in the mind. Just like a high school student who want to come to America or go to England, plan it and implant the idea in the head. That is called patana, prarthana. Prarthana is not a wish. Prarthana is a reminding of your goal. Don't think it is a wish, it's not a wish. How do you install something very strongly in the mind? If you can put anything into your mind, but that does not mean that it is effective. To be effective, you have to plant it in the mind when the mind is so full of positive energy and when the mind is so calm and peaceful. If you plant something, plant a little tree, mango, in your garden, and you have to prepare the ground properly. Bring some fertilizer into the ground and mix it with the regular soil, and certain amount of soil, certain amount of wood parts, certain amount of chemicals, and whatever the things that you do, you prepare the ground, you condition the ground, and then you plant the mango tree right there in front of your house, maybe several yards in front of your house or in the back. You want to plant this to grow well, and you prepare the ground first. If you want to plant an aspiration, for example, simple aspiration, next life, I want to be very well educated person. And then you refine your mind to the highest level and put that into your mind. One time, no good. 2 times, no good. 10 times, 100 times, 400 times, 500 times. If you remind yourself, I want to be a well-educated person, every life I'm going to be born. For example, I have another example. I want to be a person who is who has all the material wealth, nice house and nice car, nice vehicle, nice food, nice friends, everything I want in my future lives. You can plan it. Somebody want to be the most beautiful woman in every life I'm going to be born, and you can plan it, and exactly you can achieve your goals. Planning is setting your goals. When you set the goals, there are requirements. Then you have to fulfill those requirements to become beautiful, good looking. Besides offering flowers to the Buddha when people come, and it's very beautiful and nice, very attractive because of the flowers and other things, and you clean the temple very nicely before people come, so they can come to a nice clean temple. And you keep doing this, and your mind is getting conditioned, and now you put the idea into your mind. You clean the temple, you offer flowers, arrange nicely, like look at it, and make it so perfect, and sit down and close your eyes and put, every life I'm going to be born, I want to be the most beautiful woman in the world, most attractive woman. Is that enough? No. You have to practice metta. If you don't have metta, you don't be a good woman. Female qualities, besides the figure, are the things that make you a beautiful woman. So you have to practice metta a little bit often. Often I want to practice metta. More compassion I practice. More female qualities, softness, kindness, gentleness. You practice and practice and practice, and while you are practicing this, you are reminding yourself, I want to be the most beautiful woman. Every life I'm going to be born. That's planning. That's planning and executing the plan and getting the result. Same thing about meeting Maitreya Bodhisattva. Remember, Sariputta, Maharatan Vanse, the Venerable Sariputta, heard only half of the verse, Yo Dhamma hetu pabhava tesang hetu tathagato aha. He heard this, and immediately he was opened up for Dhamma. Dhamma chakku mudapade. Half a verse. Why? All the requirements are already fulfilled. Together with the Bodhisattva, our Bodhisattva, he had been doing this for many, many, many lives, and he had learning and practicing the kindness and compassion and wisdom and all these things. He heard one little verse from Venerable Assaji. Boom, he became enlightened because he had the plan. And not only that, he had the plan to be the right-hand disciple of the Gautama the Buddha. When my friend become enlightened one day, it's a team work. Bodhisattva is there, and Ananda was always there, and Sariputta was there, Moggallana was there, and Yasodhara was there. Meaning, in many past lives, they were together. Many past lives, they were together and working for the same goal, same aspiration. When my best friend is going to be the Buddha, I want to be his right-hand disciple. Moggallana is saying, my best friend is going to be the Buddha, Gautama, in the future. I want to be his left-hand disciple. Ananda, I want to be his attendant. That those aspirations already planted in their minds many lives ago. And if you create an aspiration. For example, if you really think that you want to meet the Maitreya Buddha and listen to him and serve him food and other things, and also become his disciple and become a monk or nun and become enlightened under him, Maitreya Bodhisattva, you can plan it now. And you have to avoid being born in hell, being born as hungry ghost for kalpas. King Kosala's relatives, many lives ago, they made the mistake of eating the food that was prepared for the Buddha. And that is a greedy thing to do. When you are greedy, you become a hungry ghost. And they became hungry ghosts, King Kosala's relatives. And what happened? Many lives, they were born as hungry ghost, again hungry ghost, and again hungry ghost. And even King Kosala was the disciple of the Buddha. This time, all those his relatives are still hungry ghosts. So many lifetimes ago. Why? Because you made the mistake and then you got stuck. And that is one thing that we have to avoid. We cannot make too many mistakes if you are going to plan to be meeting Maitreya Bodhisattva. Cannot make mistakes. Always focus on Dhamma and the practice of Dhamma. If you continuously practice of Dhamma, engage in practicing Dhamma, practicing Dana, practicing Sila, practicing Samadhi, try to meditate as much as you can. And every time you do that, you have to replant that idea into the system. In that way, it is always current. And now you are getting old. All this time, every time when you do something nice, you aspire to be the disciple of the Maitreya Buddha in the future. And now you are getting old and going to die. And are you going to forget your aspiration that you have been practicing last 40 years? You have been putting this idea that you want to be a disciple of the Maitreya Bodhisattva, Maitreya Buddha. When he become enlightened, I want to meet him. I want to be a human being at the same time in his vicinity. And now you're going to die in this life. Then what happened to you? You will be Dharma. Since you have been practicing Dhamma, either you become heavenly being or you become a human being, but you never be a hungry ghost, or you never stuck in being in hell because you have been pure and practitioner of the Dharma. You die and reborn as a heavenly being, or you reborn as another human being. But you never forget your aspiration, even in this life. Next life, you're a little child, 10 years old, 15 years old. All of a sudden, this idea come to your mind because you have been putting that idea into your system for a long time. Anything that you put into your memory will not disappear. If you remind your aspiration every time when you do something. I have generated today through this offering of Dana, offering of helping the orphanage. May I become born as a disciple of the Maitreya Bodhisattva. That's the idea you are putting in now. And you have been doing this for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And next life, as soon as you are born, even you are born in a Muslim country or some other country, you may not be born in country where Dharma is not easily available because you have been practicing Dhamma. But in case, if you are born in a country where Dharma is not available, you still have this strong idea in your memory bank. And it will come up again. And now you are a little, maybe white girl or white boy born in a Christian country. But in your mind, the moment you hear the word Maitreya one day, you know, oh, that's what I want to be. I want to be his disciple. Whenever the Maitreya is coming to this human world, this little boy who has never heard of Dharma before, who was born in some place in a country where Dharma is not available, all of a sudden he doesn't know where this idea came to his mind, but this idea is there in his mind. Parents are going to Catholic church or Christian church or someplace, but this little boy or girl had this strong idea, I want to be meeting Maitreya Bodhisattva, Maitreya Buddha. So he continued. He continued as a Western child and always try to remind himself that I will be the disciple of the Buddha. So anything you want to be, you can be. There's no question. According to the Buddha's teaching, if you want to be rich, you can be rich. If you want to be so beautiful and attractive, you can be. If you want to be so wise, every life that you're going to be born, you can be. But you have to work on it. One part of the working is not to lose your focus. What is the focus? Goal. What is your goal? If you want to go to New York, you start from California and you keep driving, you drive always in that direction, not to down south, because you want to go to New York. New York is in the in the East Coast, and you go drive towards the east. Even if you drive few miles, you make sure you are driving towards the east, and you end up in New York, right? But if you lose your direction in the way, on the way, next life, even after next life, that's the way. That's the way that we are going to be enlightened one day, free from all suffering one day. That's what we want to be. So you only walk in that direction, drive in that direction. Never lose your direction. So if you don't lose your direction, like now you are living in America, maybe you are not working too hard like when you were young, and now you have extra time, and now you can sit down and read books on Dharma, and you can save some money and send to poor countries to help all those people who are having problems with their food and lodging and clothing and education. You help them, and you can go to the temple as much as you can and clean the temple, prepare the temple to be a nice place for anybody to come and have a peace of mind. That you can do, right? And you can prepare dana for monks, even one dish or two dishes you prepare and take it to the temple and drop it off for monks, or you have a nice garden with a lot of flowers, and you prepare this garden just to make offering to the Buddha, and every evening you pick some flowers from your garden and offer it to the Buddha. And those kind of things are things that make you go in the right direction all the time. So dana, sila, bhavana. So you observe 5 precepts and follow it. If anybody observe 5 precepts, that person no matter who you are, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, that person is a very nice person with sila. Nice person. Nice person is person with sila. So now you see that you can focus your mind on the direction that you want to go and only go on that direction. Every little thing. You don't try to harm somebody. You don't try to be jealous about somebody. You see that, oh, I'm becoming jealous of my sister, my brother, who is doing much than I am, so I'm getting jealous. The moment that you get jealous, you know that you're going in the wrong direction. No, don't go in the wrong direction. I'm going the right direction because I have a plan. I have to follow the plan. What is the plan? I want to meet Maitreya Buddha in the future. I have to follow that plan. So you follow the plan. And so now you can see how you plan to meet the Maitreya Buddha. Now you have two things, huh? You have to have two things. Now you know one of the biggest aspiration that we always have every time when we do a good deed, meritorious deed, what do we do? Before we get up, Malpuja Karna Gata, you recite the Gata for offering candles, offering incense, offering Bodhi Puja, all these things are done. Every time in the end I say, Mame Bala Samagamo, Sang Samagamo, Mame Bala Samagamo. May I never have any bad friends around me. May I always have good friends around me. See, two things are the same aspiration, no? May I never have bad people. May I always have good people. Two sides to the same aspiration. Iminam punya kamena. Mame bala samagamo. Ane matlang. Papa mitra nang endipa. May I never have any bad friends in my life. Then Ekela Ibrahim again, immediately you say, Satang samagamo hotu, Satang samagamo hotu. May I always have wonderful people in my life. Kalyana Mitras. Satang means Kalyana Mitras. Good people. Sata means good. Satang means good people. One day you have to have a Dhamma talk. Who is this Kalyana Mitras? What is the character? What is the character of the Kalyana Mitra? What is the qualities of a Kalyana Mitra? You can read on Dhamma books or you can listen from some Dhamma talks. Who is a person that I want to meet and who are the type of people I don't want to meet? Such two sides. I want to meet Maitreya Buddha, but I don't want to be stuck in hell or any other place like Brahma world at the time when he is arriving in human world. I want to be here. I don't want to be there. I want to be here. So that is two parts of the same aspiration, same plan. You are planning to be there. You are planning not to be there. That plan is also part of the plan. So now you know this discussion is coming to a conclusion, but this is a very important question that in Buddhism, we believe in mind and we believe in memory, karma. We believe in karma. What you put into the memory is very, very crucial. If you give a dana, invite monks and have nice decoration, everything is perfectly prepared, you are putting a very beautiful image into your mind, you know. And if you are giving a gift to your mom, you prepare it so nicely and you find time to make it a perfect gift, and that goes to your memory. And even the person who is cruel to you, who hurt your feelings, if you can try your best not to hate that guy, not to hate that person. That's part of the practice, right? It's hard. Upekha, kshanti. Shanti means patience. Patience. You don't hate the person who try to cut your hand, put you down and stop your promotion. This person who is trying to stop your promotion at the office, and it's so painful to see this guy is constantly putting you down in front of your superiors in the office because they don't want you to improve your promotion, go through your promotions, and that happens all the time. And now you want to head them back? No. You have patience, kindness, and compassion for even that guy. That's hard, but that is how you get good result. Coming to America, it's not easy. From Sri Lanka, it's a hard job. You have to work hard and polish your English and plan to get good grades in your university in Sri Lanka, and have good connection with your professors to get your recommendation letters, and all these are hard, not easy. So, but you do the hard work and you get the result, and you end up in American university somewhere, in a good university here, and become very well learned compared to most of the other people, even in this country. So, what happened to this person? He had the goal. He worked hard for that goal, and he achieved the goal. He had a plan. He executed the plan, and he got the result of the plan. Same thing about meeting Maitreya Buddha. No difference whatsoever. Same thing. You have to have the plan. You have to follow the requirements. Requirements include practice of patience, practice of compassion, practice of kindness, practice of dana, practice of prajna, wisdom, and all that. Practice of calmness of the mind, very important. Practice of calmness of the mind. If you have the calmness of the mind, don't get your mind disturbed all the time. Very important. Very important. Very important part of the practice, meaning execution of the plan. That's what we want to discuss today. For the question that how do we plan to meet Maitreya Bodhisattva when he is going to be the Buddha in the human realm. I don't know where I'm going to be. Wherever I'm going to be, I want to be in the same time, same area, same place where the Maitreya Buddha. That's called developing your affinity. Affinity. If you have the affinity, you definitely meet Maitreya Bodhisattva. All the people who became the top disciples of the Buddha, 80 top disciples, men and women, they had plans, they executed the plan, and they developed the affinity with Gautama the Buddha. And we know Visakha, Sujata, Sumana, Yasodhara, Kosala, Mallika, all the women, and Anatha Pindika, and all these men who became real close associates of the Buddha, disciples of the Buddha, is all result of well executed plan. Okay, so that's end of the Dhamma discussion now. I think it has to be completed earlier, 3:15. I went up to 3:30. So now we should have a meditation session, but we don't have it this time because we are getting ready for the Bodhi Puja At the beginning, we planned it as offering to the Bodhi tree, offering the Bodhi Puja, but now our members have decided instead of just a Bodhi Puja, we want a Atavisi Puja. Today, we are having an Atavisi Puja. So therefore, please, you can, if you wish to release your sila now, 8 precepts and 10 precepts now, I like to give you the 5 precepts. Or if you can come to the temple, and when you come to the temple, definitely you can observe 5 precepts and release your sila later. But if you wish that it is better that we release our sila now, please join me with observing 5 precepts. So, please recite Namo Tassa 3 times to observe 5 precepts. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Pānātipātā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi, Adinādānā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi, Kāmesu miccācārā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi, Musāvādā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi, Surāmēraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā vēramaṇī sikkhapadang samādhiyāmi. Okay, all those who observe 8 precepts and 10 precepts in the morning, it's already release your 8 precepts and 10 precepts. We here at the temple during the pandemic, we didn't get together for large scale for 2.5 years. And this is the first time we are getting together on the Vesak celebration at the temple without having any mask or without having any restriction. You can come to the temple and participate in Atavisi Buddha Puja and all the other activities. But most importantly, practice of sharing food, Dansala. It's a common practice in Sri Lanka and other countries during the Vesak time. And after a long time, for the first time, we are practicing Dansala at the temple. That means sharing food with everyone else, our family and friends. Whoever come to the temple, we share food, and few of the members have prepared a meal for almost everyone who come, probably 50 to 100 people. Whatever the number, I think they are ready to serve with a nice meal. And just like they are giving you dana, they generate a lot of merit. But accepting their dana, you are generating a lot of merit also. You just come, although you didn't prepare any food, doesn't matter, because you are contributing to Dhansala by coming and participating in partaking their food that they are offering to you. And therefore, don't hesitate to come to the temple, and come to the temple, and we have a little offering session to the Buddha, develop merit, and then participate in the Dhansala. And I would like all of you to come to the temple by 4:30, because we are asking you to arrive, start arriving at the temple around 4. But I found out that outside is pretty hot at this time, so even you get here by 4:30 would be good. All the other people who come early will prepare the offering, and you can participate in the offering and have the dinner and go home and rest with your family and children. And thank you very much, everyone. I wish you a happy Vesak season. And with beginning of this Vesak season, we generate a lot of merit, and until next year, this merit will be helpful to us, be healthy and safe and happy and joyful with our family members, without having any quarrels, discomfort, complications and conflicts with our family members and friends and associates. So we'll live happily and joyfully with our fellow practitioners until the next Vesak. And Katina is coming in October, and that will be another big opportunity for us to get together at the temple and participate in very special ceremony. And as you saw that Podihamdru, Venerable Sarada is here from Chicago. He was in Chicago for a while. We are hoping to keep him at our temple, and hopefully we might be successful. And he tried his best to give a Dhamma talk, and Dhamma talk was acceptable and good. And this is the first time that he gave a Dhamma talk in English. And I thought that he agreed to give the Dhamma talk in English itself is a wonderful thing. And that's amazing, because most of the monks are so scared of speaking in English, especially when it comes to Dhamma talks. And I appreciate very much that Venerable Sarada agreed to give the Dhamma talk in English. I told him that when he keep practicing, he will be a good Dharma speaker in English in the future, and he can be able to help a lot of people, Westerners and other people, and anyone who come to the temple, regardless of their ethnic background. If he can speak Dhamma in English, that would be wonderful. And that is why here today he gave his first Dhamma talk in English for the. So I'm very happy that he did it. And he's not a stranger to me, and I ordained him when he was 10 years old in Sri Lanka in my temple, and he's actually my disciple. So I'm happy to see he's growing and becoming a great Dharma teacher. And please be kind to him as much as you can. He's a very peaceful, very calm person. And he was very, very little when he was ordained, very little, like I was, I think, even a little smaller than me. But now he's a little bit tall and big, and so I'm glad. So hopefully he will stay here, and be nice to him as much as you can. And he will go to Sri Lanka for the first time after several years, soon after Bhante Shanta come back. And then I'm hoping that he will come back here instead of going back to Chicago. Thank you very much for everyone. So see you at the temple in the evening. Please come to the temple as much as you can. Okay, thank you. Bring your kids, bring everyone, and make them participate in a good deed, wonderful celebration of the Buddha. When we celebrate Buddha's life, we always practice dana, we practice sila, we practice calmness of the mind. And that's what we do. And thank you very much, and see you soon. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. May you all be happy and well. Wish you good health and a lot of good luck. Thank you very much, and see you again soon.